Hi, this is Peter Onorati. You're listening to TV Confidential.
Ed Robertson with a reminder that James Dumont of HBO's The Righteous Gemstones will join us later on in the hour. We have to stay tuned. And in the meantime, we are happy to start the hour by welcoming Mr. Robert Clohessy, one of the busiest character actors in film and television today. Robert plays New York Police Lieutenant Sid Gormley on Blue Bloods. Blue Bloods, the long-running Friday night police drama that just launched its 10th season this fall on CBS. You've also seen Robert on Oz, Boardwalk Empire, All My Children, Boy Meets World, One of the Boys, Hill Street Blues, and many other films and TV series. And we are very happy that he's taken time off on his day off to talk to us today. Robert Clohessy, welcome to TV Confidential.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's not only good to have a job, but in this day and age with shorter seasons, both for the network and for cable, which you have a lot of experience working in, you have a lot more flexibility as an actor to, maybe moonlight's not the right word, but you can do more than one things and still be able to, meet your commitments on the network show.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty good about, if you get some other job, and I do a lot of small films, and they're good about working it out and letting you get to do them and then come back, because my schedule's pretty set with, now that I'm with Tom, he back ends a show, so he does the end of one, beginning of another, and then goes back home for a week, 10 days, so I'll have that time off too, so works out pretty well. And he's great to work with, and me and Gregory and Abigail are smiles on our face every day we go to work because we're so happy we got a job, and a good one.
Tom, of course, is Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck is the star of Blue Bloods. Robert Clohessy plays Lieutenant Sid Gormley on Blue Bloods. Blue Bloods airs Friday night at 10 o'clock on CBS. I've never had the pleasure of interviewing Tom on this program, Robert. I did meet him once, very, very briefly, courtesy of our mutual friend Chris Corman, but I've talked to a number of people who have worked with Tom both on Magnum and to a limited degree earlier in his career on Rockford Files. And I understand he's just one of those old school actors who make everybody up and down, above the line, below in line, every member of the cast and crew feel like a member of the family and an important part of the team.
Yeah, and more importantly, he's really unselfish in really serving the story and the script. Mm-hmm. He really works tremendously hard to make the story as clear and as dramatic as possible. So it's less about him, though the story, Blue Bloods, is about, from Tom's point of view, it's Tom's story, but he's more interested in telling the complete story. And he works, I've never worked with anybody who's leading a show who works as hard as he does to make the show as dramatic and successful as possible. He's over the top. And so it makes us guys have to work to really go in there and do our best and really work on our material prior to going in, because he's always going to give his AA game, and so we can't go in any lower than that. So we all work as hard because we know how committed he is to making it a successful show.
You talk about how hard Tom Selleck works. The thing about Selleck, just as a viewer, is that he just seems so laid back and so at ease. It doesn't seem like he's working for a minute, but that's, I'm not an actor, but I've talked to enough actors to know that when you make it look like it's so easy, that just shows how hard an actor really is working.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Everything is pretty well thought out and pretty well invested, and this is not a casual thing. That's not my take on it. He doesn't approach this casually. He really works on it really hard. And the fact is that it looks casual and being thrown away, but it's not that at all.
On the line with us is Robert Clohessy. Robert Clohessy star of Blue Bloods, Odds, Boardwalk Empire, Hill Street Blues, and many other films and TV series. Blue Bloods airs Friday nights on CBS. You can follow Robert on Facebook and on Instagram. I understand, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I understand that you did not necessarily set out to become an actor, but you changed your mind about pursuing acting once you enrolled in Rockland Community College in New York.
Yeah, what happened was I grew up in a fighting family, so we were fighters. The year senior in high school, I was at Fort of Madison Square Garden. I got hurt. I tore my elbow, ligaments in my elbow, and that kind of knocked me out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't a school person, so I didn't get into any colleges or anything like that. So I just went to the local community college. I walked into an acting class, basically. This old Yiddish theater actor, Isaiah Sheffer, who's a music creator and a dramatist and writer, and he started this program, and he took me under his wing. And I used to go into the city and help him with sets and lighting and the whole thing. And I think he thought I was going to be like a teamster or something, or a set builder.
Yeah.
I said, no, I think I want to be an actor, And so we became close, and he helped me out and helped me get into SUNY Purchase. And at SUNY Purchase, I did 2 years of Rockland and then transferred and got into their conservatory, Purchase Conservatory, and then got into it more and more and more. But it's always been kind of a slow burn, and I never really thought I could, make a living at it. But I didn't know what else to do. It was just kind of, I didn't have any real commitments about doing anything else. And so I just casually got into the world more and more and more because nobody in my family's in it, and I didn't have any friends that were in it. So it was all something, a path that I kind of paved myself and found my way. And then before you know it, I started making a living at it, and one thing led to another. So it occurred that way,
Okay, so you were sort of slowly dipping your toes on the shallow end, so to speak, trying to figure out if this is really something you wanted to do. What role, or was there any one moment or maybe series of moments, Robert, when you felt, hey, I can do this and I'm good at this?
Well, I'm not sure, but I know that, after I did Hill Street Blues, where I felt really intimidated because all these guys were great, and that was actually my first time I actually was on film, and I felt really awkward, and I couldn't, I didn't know how to do film,
Mm-hmm.
And then the following year, I did O'Hara. I got me and Pat Morita starred in O'Hara together, and we did that for a season, and I got really close to Pat. We became really good friends, and he taught me a lot, but he also had such great joy in acting, and I laughed the whole year shooting that TV show, and had so much fun. And I thought, wow, I'm starring in a TV show and I'm having fun with somebody, and I thought, I think I can make this work.
And the fact that you're on a weekly show with an Oscar-nominated actor, a man who had been working in television for 20, 25 years up to that point, but still finding joy in it and still learning his craft, that had to be a great experience for you as a young actor.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic, and I think that originally when I got out of school, I was thinking, I wanted to do the theater and everything. I wanted to do theater, and I wanted to be a part of the actor studio because that was where Brando was and all these guys that we so admired. And I auditioned for the actor studio like 4 times, and they turned me down. I went, oh, man, I guess I'm not good enough. And then I went, I studied with Uta Hagen's book, Respect for Acting. That was one of our books that we studied with. I went, I want to go study with Uta Hagen. Mm-hmm. I auditioned for her twice, and she turned me down. So I went, oh, Lord, nobody wants me. So I said, forget about it then. I tried to get in theater groups. They turned me down. So I said, forget about it. I'm just going to try to get a job. So it became, I'm just going to get a job, and I'm not going to think of myself as anything special or try to get any awards or anything. I'm just going to try to do it like a working class, which I come from, a working class mentality, and just try to get a job. And so I pursued it kind of like that.
And again, I'm not an actor. I just talk to actors on the radio. But it seems to me that if you approach it like that, that's a very realistic approach, because all any actor wants, regardless of, how successful or how famous they are, all any actor wants is to work, and to work as steadily as possible. And 30-something years later, you're still working and you're still doing something you love.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel blessed that way, you know. It was my own journey. I kind of made it my own, and so I feel blessed that way, yeah.
And we're blessed to spend a few minutes talking to Robert Clohessy. Robert plays Lieutenant Sid Gormley on Blue Bloods. Blue Bloods airs Friday nights, 10 o'clock on CBS. You can follow Robert on Facebook and on Instagram. You mentioned you tried out for the Actors Studio early in your career. It seems to me, regardless of whether you are a quote-unquote method actor or not, every actor sort of has a plan to approach whatever character they're playing. Is that the case with you? How do you approach the character you play from show to show?
Sometimes it's hard because you don't know exactly where the character's going. You know, you don't know what the writers have in mind for you. So you can only kind of play what you presented this week. And, you know, I just try to be really kind of, I hate talking about acting because it's like, it's like, I'm not sure what exactly I do. You know,
okay.
I try to make it real, try to like look somebody in the eye, say my line and mean it, the old Cagney thing, you know, and I try to listen. I think acting, a big part of acting is listening, and so I try to listen, and then I try to breathe while I'm doing that. Breathing is real important.
Yeah.
So if I could breathe while I'm acting and listen well, then usually I could stay in the moment and play the scene well. You want to figure out what the scene's about.
Sure.
So that's the first thing you do, and everybody does that. You figure it out, and then you estimate what you think the scene is about, and then you just try to do those two things, breathe well and listen well.
When you go to work on Blue Bloods, do the writers or the producers, do they give you a broad swath of what the storyline is going to be for the season, or do you only have your sides for that show for that week from week to week?
No, I just have it from week to week. Yeah, I don't know what they have in mind. I do know, like when I did Boardwalk Empire, the second season when it was on, and I did something in the first episode, I estimated that I was going to die, right? I know they were going to kill me. So I used to walk around the set going, dead man walking, dead man walking. And Winters, who created the show, you know, was laughing. And on HBO, he would talk about how I made people laugh by, you know, walking around the sets knowing I was going to get killed. But he extended the part, and I got killed at the end of the season, which actually qualified me to be part of the ensemble. And then we went to the SAG Awards, and that year won. So I got a SAG Award for ensemble for Boardwalk, and I think part of it was I extended my stay on the show by being a good spirit, knowing I was going to die.
Yeah, and you made an impression on the showrunner, so they used that. That's good.
I think he might have killed me earlier, but I think I was entertaining him a bit with my knowledge that I knew I was going to get killed.
Yeah. Before we forget, our conversation with Robert is courtesy of Chris Corman. Chris Corman, who produces our show, and he is a mutual friend of Robert. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. You know Chris because of his father-in-law, George DiCenzo, right?
Yeah, that's part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Me and George worked on Perry Mason together, one of the Perry Mason movies. We had a fun time doing that.
Yeah. In fact, it's been a few years since I've seen it, but I know you had a lot of scenes with George, and you had a lot of scenes with Billy Moses in that one. What I remember most about that movie is George's character, which, when you think about it, is kind of the offbeat type of character that you're more likely to see on a Hill Street Blues, because he was a mobster who liked to design fashion for women, but he was very masculine about it.
That's right. He was like kind of like a fashion dressmaker.
Yeah.
And I was the mobster's muscle man or something on the show.
Yeah.
I was like his seamstress assistant.
Yes, exactly. To me, there's sort of a fine line, because even though it's supposed to be a drama, there was a lot of opportunity for humor for both of you.
Yeah. But that plays itself. You don't have to comment on that. You know, you have a mobster, I'm his muscle man, and then he makes dresses, and I'm like his seamstress assistant. You just play that, and that in itself is funny.
Yeah.
If you try to do anything more, then it's not funny, you know?
It goes back to what you were saying a little earlier when we were talking about working with Selleck on Blue Bloods, and that's listening, being present in the scene with your acting partner and being true to the material.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, which is the key to any successful acting. Now, I think you mentioned Brando a little while ago.
Right.
If I remember correctly, you worked very briefly with Brando on his last movie, The Score.
That's right, I did. And I just want to say I love that kid Clohessy. He's very nice. He's very easy to work with. You know, he's very real. Brando, actually, you know, I got cut out of the whole film.
Uh-huh.
The director said that I was the only one to get along with Brando.
Yeah.
So he sent me my scenes.
Cool.
The cut scenes.
Uh-huh.
But I was just sitting there watching Brando. I mean, I just loved looking at him and doing the scene with him. I was just totally in pig heaven.
I would imagine the opportunity to work with a legend, even though he was near the end of the line. I mean, I understand it was a great experience, and I understand he was very imposing, even though he was 75, 76 at the time.
Yeah, he was. I was surprised how powerful he was. Like, when I grabbed him,
Mm-hmm.
he said, "Don't grab me like that. Bring me to you." And I would grab him, and he said, "No, grab me and bring me to you." That's how I grabbed him, and I realized, wow, he's so freaking powerful. He was so strong. And, you know, I'm not surprised by that because he's such a grounded person. But I really enjoyed working with him, and it's like a highlight in my life that I got to be able to do that.
And the highlight of our day is spending a few minutes talking to Robert Clohessy. Robert Clohessy plays Lieutenant Sid Gormley on Blue Bloods. Blue Bloods just launched its 10th season, Friday nights on CBS. I'm sure other people have asked you this before, Robert, but the success of Blue Bloods is amazing, considering that it's a Friday night show, and for many years the networks have kind of given up on Friday nights. But you guys have found your audience, and you've maintained your audience on Friday nights. What do you think is the appeal of Blue Bloods? Why does it continue to grow its audience?
You know, I don't know. I know if I walk around New York and all the different people who come up to me, and they love the show, and they really like the character and the whole thing. I think there's a number of things, but I think, number one, Tom, they love Tom Selleck,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the way he portrays the character, they love. I think they love the family dinner, you know, and I think no matter what culture or race or religion, all of those people can relate to that family dinner, and being able to talk things out. Nowadays, this ain't a talk-out time in our history, you know.
Yeah.
People are fighting all the time. We're all, families are fighting over the whole, whatever political climate it is right now. But I think there's a lot of fighting going on and not real talking to each other. And I think people miss families, extended families, sitting around a table once a week and actually talking things out and being with each other. People long for that, miss it. I think that's a big attraction to the show.
Final question. Are there any other film projects, plays that you have in the works later this year that you're at liberty to tell our listeners about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm shooting a film right now. It's really quite good. And I can't talk about it because they made me sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody makes you sign non-disclosure agreements.
I understand.
I made my wife sign the non-disclosure. You know, my kids sign a non-disclosure. I mean, it's all this non-disclosure.
Yeah.
The irony of that is, of course, everything is disclosed these days.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Everything's out in the world, and everybody has to sign a non-disclosure. But it's called Chemical Hearts, and it's a high school kid film, and it's really, the young writer-director is really, really, really good.
We will look forward to that. In the meantime, Blue Bloods has just launched its 10th season. Friday nights on CBS. You can follow Robert Clohessy on Facebook and on Instagram. Robert Clohessy, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll talk to us again one of these days on TV Confidential.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Buying or selling a home can be one of the most stressful things we'll ever do in life. But it doesn't have to be. And no one knows better than our friends at Front Porch Realty Group. They're a community of realtors serving the Northern Bay Area of California that cares about their clients as individuals first and foremost. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to lease or sell your property in the Bay Area, Front Porch Realty Group will help you through this important transition by providing you with the right information for your situation while lessening the pain. They also work with a network of realtors throughout California who provide the same high caliber of customer service. Call Front Porch Realty Group at 415-886-7411 for a realtor referral near you. You can also visit their website, frontporchrealtygroup.com, for more information on the services they provide, including upcoming workshops and seminars. For more information, call 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com. Front Porch Realty Group. They'll find the solution that works best for you.
Want a free first ride with Uber? Uber, the mobile app that connects you with a ride at the touch of a button in minutes. Enter promo code TV Confidential after you download the app to receive your first free ride up to $20. For more information, go to get.uber.com/go/TV Confidential.
Hey there, this is Wink Martindale, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
Attention sports fans, now you can watch every football game you want all season long without leaving your home with Dish for about $50 a month. Compared to your cable bill, you can save almost $600 a year. Call right now and sign up for Dish and watch every football game you want. With Dish, there are no boxes to pay, plus get free installation as soon as tomorrow if you call now. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch your favorite sports and channels on your smartphone, tablet, or laptop. Be one of the first 100 orders right now and get a free voice remote. Don't miss a single football game all year long and save a ton of money. Get a free voice remote and free installation as soon as tomorrow. But you gotta call All American Dish right now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251.
Miss the show? We have more than 500 hours of archived editions of TV Confidential available on demand as digital downloads. For more information, go to shop.tvconfidential.net.
This portion of TV Confidential is sponsored by The Misadventures of Biffle and Schuster, the hilarious side-splitting new DVD available through Kino Lorber.